A very good afternoon to all those who would be joining this particular live session. As we are all aware that every week we conduct live sessions which are pertaining to our particular course, understanding incubation and entrepreneurship. And these sessions are primarily to aid and help uh, all our learners who have enrolled in this particular course, right? So the intent of these problem solving sessions is that if you are encountering any problem, facing any challenges with respect to the course, or not able to access anything, or you have queries or doubts regarding the course content, we are there to help you out. And that's the intent of these sessions. Now, these sessions are designed and curated in a way that, it helps all our learners, right? So the presentation which I share in all these sessions, they include certain sections. We generally start with a set of protocol slides. Now, what I mean by protocol slides is that we have a deck of slides which we repeat in each and every session. And what we have been informed is that a new learner can join in any of these sessions right from week 1 to week 12. So there are certain basic things which every learner might must be aware of, and that's the reason that we repeat those certain slides in each and every session of ours. um, a brief preview I would like to tell you is that we start with the general agenda of the slides, where we tell why these sessions are there and which week's set of questions we'll be discussing today. I also show a screenshot of your login page wherein I tell you, I mean, what are the different heads and what can you access. So basically, it's a brief highlight about the user interface elements, and what are the major actions which you can take so that you are aware of the course, right? Going forward, I also showcase links wherein where all these live sessions are recorded and being uploaded, and at the same time, we have the presentations and we generate a PDF of each and every session, and that also gets uploaded in our Google Drive. So we share that information with our learners. This is followed by overview of the course and the progress page. So we look upon our progress page. I mean, how do you monitor your progress in terms of content you have seen and in terms of assignments you have submitted, right? Then we follow up on the certification details. We share you, I mean, what are the basic criterias under which and only meeting all those criterias, after which you'll be getting a certificate. Now that's a critical component, so we take due time in addressing them. This comes after which there is a criteria for fetching examination certificate. Now what we do is that there is certain boundary conditions wherein you have to uh, you know uh, be a part of. You have to cross that boundary condition so that you gain a certificate, and followed by a quick week recap and typology of questions. We also have started to create a leaderboard. I mean, this leaderboard is more in terms of our learners who have already participated in our previous session and who were there for a good duration of time. So that's where we have them. This is followed by the content recap. So what we have understood is that, just a minute, huh? Hmm. Just give me a minute. I'll just, okay, okay, yeah. Uh, we'll just notify a few more areas wherein we can share the list so that more students can join in. The time is, I'm just wondering how come Nobody has still joined the class, so I'll just check with, and I'll see if the link of the meeting is the same, because there sometimes it becomes an issue, because I'll also join with the link which has been given to me. I think that's the same. Join. And I'll also join through my phone, so that whenever there is a call drop or something. Um, okay. Right. So once our set of protocol slides are over, we shift to the next set of sections, which includes the content recap. In the content recap, what we do is we share a brief preview of the entire video content. We have snippets of that entire video journey. So what we do is we run through that snippet journey, so that the students are aware of what are the contents which are covered. Through the text, it becomes an overload, but through images, things are much more faster to recall. So that's the idea behind using a content recap slide deck. Once that content recap is over, we go to our question set, as in a set of 10 questions. These are different from the questions which you might have received in your week 2 assignment. And the idea is that we would want to reinforce your learning, so that you learn better, you assess yourself in a much better way. And so these are entirely different set of questions, but the catch here is that these are pertaining to the same week. So if we are discussing week 2, the entire course content will be of the week 2 content only, and the question set will be from the week 2 content. Okay. So if you have gone through the week 2 content, it would be an easy way to go ahead and address those questions. Then we also, discuss the discussion forum questions. Discussion forum is a functionality or a feature, you can say, which has been provided by the NPTEL platform. In the discussion forum, you have the flexibility of asking questions, posting it in the discussion forum, and then you can, uh, get answers to it. So I'll discuss in the protocol slide deck about these all things which we have, gone through. And right. So before we start our session formally, let me introduce myself, and if possible, the participants can also introduce themselves. It will just create a better environment for teaching and learning, and then we can proceed. So my name is Abhishek, and I am currently a PhD student at IIT Roorkee. And before joining my Department of Design at IIT Roorkee, I was uh, having my own startup, and it was majorly around design and design consultancy. And in terms of my education background, I did my Bachelor's of Architecture, which is a BArch 5-year duration course, and then proceeded to do my Master's of Design and Industrial Design from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. And after that, I worked in certain companies, including Infosys and Think Design. And after which I realized that probably I should also try my hands on onto a startup, and that's where I, along with a partner, we started a design consultancy firm, and we floated that for around 2 3 years, and after which I slowly transitioned into teaching, as a side profession, and I quite enjoyed it. And that's where I started teaching at many design institutions. And after around 8 years of work experience in both professional and academic journey, I took a break, and I started my doctoral journey at IIT Roorkee. So that's brief about myself. If any of the learners in the call would like to introduce themselves, now is the time. Anyone? All right, no issues. So what we'll do is we'll start sharing the screen, and we'll proceed with our session today. Right. I believe my screen is visible. If anyone can please let me know. Hmm. All right. So let's start our session for today. Uh, the course name is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The instructor is Professor V.K. Chakravarti sir. And today we are here for the week two live session. Today is 1st Feb 2025, and my name is Abhishek. I am the TA for this particular course, and we'll be meeting every week from week 1 to week 12. And I'll be addressing your queries, and I'll be posting, a set of new 10 questions every week pertaining to that particular week, right? So that's brief about myself and the course agenda. Share once again. There are some issues. I think now things would be visible and uh, audible as well. Sorry, go ahead with our session today. So these live sessions are there to help you in the current run of courses. We'll discuss and solve week specific assignments. We have already made it clear what do you mean by week specific assignments. What we essentially mean is that uh, since we are referring to week two content, so we'll be having the set of questions pertaining to week two content, right? We'll not be taking the questions from the week one. It's a week two content specific set of 10 questions. Okay. And also be discussing the answers of it, and we'll also try to validate with a content snapshot screenshot. So from the content screenshot we'll try to validate it, and we'll discuss the answers of those questions. So that's a brief about the set of 10 questions which we'll have every week. These are other than the live assignment. Let me also clarify this, because the live assignments are there to evaluate your performance. All right. It's there to evaluate your performance. But here we are not there to evaluate you, but here we are to build the content understanding. Right. So we are here to have a better content understanding, and that's the aim. So through live assignments you'll be evaluated, you'll be getting scores. Furthermore, you'll get a certificate from it. But then the questions we discussed today will help you in your content understanding and finally for your examinations. Right. We also respond to the queries and questions. If you have a question, you can post it through this particular Gmeet chat box. Or what you can also do is you can utilize the discussion forum thing, and that can also help you. As I mentioned, we'll also be doing the content recap. That's there, which will help you in revising the content. All right, let's go to the next screen. So, certain ethics and protocols. The idea is that we maintain certain decorum, and so first of all, we request everybody to keep your mic on mute so that we avoid any kind of noises and disturbances. The second thing which we request is that you can unmute yourself if you have any questions, or if you want to answer to a question. In those scenarios you can unmute. This can especially happen in our set of 10 questions, wherein we invite the participants to speak up. So share your thought process. Why do you think an answer is correct or not? Why do you think it is correct? And share your votes so that we can discuss upon those questions. Also, if you have any questions, you can post it in the discussion forum. Now, discussion forum is a very interesting functionality which you can avail using ask a question tab, which is here. The moment you ask a question in discussion forum, essentially you post a question in discussion forum and everybody gets notified about it. When I say everyone, what we basically mean is that all the learners who are enrolled in this course, all those gets notified. Uh, Me as a TA, I also get notified, and then there are NPTEL support members who also get notified, right? Okay. I'll keep this. I'll bring this here. Minimize it and present from here now. Just give me a minute. I'm just trying to sort things because there is some confusion going around here. Right? Um, hmm. I think it is sorted. All right, let's proceed ahead. Now, these sessions are pretty significant, pretty much significant and important because we discussed new set of questions, and this will help you prepare for your final examination. Now, what mandate the NPTEL team has given us is that all these sessions needs to be recorded and uploaded on YouTube, right? So even today's recording, the moment the session is over, within a day or two, the recording gets uploaded on my YouTube channel along with the presentation deck. So the presentation deck, which you see, also gets annotated So we do all the scribbling, we do voting, all those things, we discuss upon. So this PPT is then converted to PDF, and this PDF gets uploaded, right? So the idea is that you get a repository wherein all the sessions with all the PDFs, the videos and the PDFs, the entire document set is available at one place. And what is that one place? That is basically the problem solving session link here. All right. So once the session is over, I'll also show you, all these resources. So in this particular link, when you click, it will lead you to a page which will say click here. There are a couple of clicks required, and then you will land upon an Excel sheet. It's more like a spreadsheet, and in that you'll have week one, you will have week two, and then you will have the YouTube link. There will be a common repository for the folder, and then there will be few more details regarding myself as a TA and the number of people who have attended the session, right? So that's how the spreadsheet would appear like. Okay, so the course name is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The course instructor is Professor V.K. Chakravarti sir, who has been from the IDC School of Design, which is at IIT Bombay. He was also taking care of the DIC there, which is the Design Innovation Center. And currently he's taken up a new role at the Mahindra University. He's setting up the School of Design there. So he is basically the course instructor, and he, along with the IIT Hyderabad MDes students, who have participated and consented to be a part of this particular course. Right. The course duration is of 12 weeks, and we'll be meeting each and every week, right from week 10 to week 1 to week 12. So there will be 12 live sessions, and there will be one extra session. It will be right before your examination, right? So there will be some information, some critical info which I would like to share with you in terms of preparing and all those things, so that you get well prepped for your final examination. The week one and week two assignment deadline is 5th Feb, right? So you still have a few days left, to do it. But please submit it, because later in the slide deck I'll tell you why it is critical to submit your assignment, especially when you are in the need of the certificate. That's where the cruciality of these internal assignments would be. The final examination date is 27th of April. Okay, that's the exam date. And it would be either in the first half or in the later half. That is the pre-lunch slot and the post-lunch slot. Okay. And for that, you'll have to register yourself. In the registration process, you'll have to enter the choices of venue. So venue can be in proximity to where you are staying. You'll have to give 2 to 3 options there, and accordingly you'll be allotted one of the venues. So once those things are there, these things will be available in the hall ticket, which is provided to you around 1 or 2 weeks prior to your examination. So this is how your progress tab looks like. So the moment you log in, you will see your login ID, and this is the progress tab. It has unit wise progress, which basically is about the content which you have been going through, the week wise content, and you can see the bar. So the blue one is how much you have completed, right? And then there is an assessment progress. The assessment progress is how you are scoring. So Right now, you might not be able to see any of the scorings because the deadline is still there for week one and week two both. Once the deadline is over, you will start seeing your start or your marks will be visible. And this also shows you a cumulative percentage. So it does not mean that this is how much you have scored. It's basically the course progress which they are referring to. Okay. Okay. So the course is free to learn and enroll upon. But if you want a certificate, है ना, if you are aiming for a certificate along with your score, you have to register and write proctored examination by us in person at any of the designated exam centers. Okay, what do you mean by proctored examination? It means that there will be an invigilator who will be monitoring the room. So just like you have given your class, class 10th or 12th or your, university examinations or the national entrance tests. उसी लाइंस पे there will be a exam for NPTEL course wherein you'll have to go to a physical center, you have to show your ID and all, and then only you'll be allowed to present and participate in the examination, right? Also, there are certain exemptions in the exam fee, and what happens is that there's a 50% fee waiver for a student belonging to the SHT category and PWD category. To avail that, you will have to upload the correct certificate. All right, so that upload is required in order to avail it. If you are registering for examination before 24th of Feb, 5 p.m., the exam fee is 1000 rupees. However, there's a late fee between if you do it between 24th of Feb to 28th of Feb, late fee is applicable, right? So the last date for registration is Feb 28 with the late fee. Okay, so please ensure that if you really need the certificate, it's always preferable that you register as soon as possible. Going further, now there is a certain criteria to get a certificate, right? We are having these internal assessments, then you also have your proctored examinations. So each and everything carries certain weightage, right? So I'll explain you because this is something which is important. I'll give it some time and I'll explain it to you in as simple words as possible. All right. So all these weekly assignments which you are getting, weekly assignments or the week wise assignments from week 1 to week 12, these are a part of your internals. Okay. And these carry an overall weightage of 25%. Right. Another thing is that out of these 12 assignments, we will only consider the best 8. Okay. So the best 8 out of 12 assignments will be considered to calculate your 25% weightage marks. And then your externals will have a weightage of which is your physical exam. Will have a weightage of 75%. Okay. And this both will actually sum up your overall marks, which is 100%. Now, there are certain intricacies in this, which I'll tell you. So, in this, you have to score more than 10. Here, you have to score more than 30 so that your overall score is more than 40. Stop presenting and I'll just reshare my screen. There's some lag which is happening, which is, I don't know why it is happening. Right. So this is the screen which I was referring to. Now, the challenges here is that if you're gaining more than 10 out of 25, more than 30 out of 75, so that your score is more than 40, you will gain a certificate. That's for sure. However, there are certain other scenarios. For example, you score 20 out of 25. However, here you score 25 out of 75. Your overall score is 45 out of 100. So you are meeting this criteria. You are meeting this criteria, but you are not meeting this criteria. So you will not get certificate. Okay. Let's take another scenario. Herein, you get 5 out of 25, but here you scored very well. You scored 50 out of 75. Your overall score is 55 out of 100. Now you're meeting this criteria, you are meeting this criteria, but you are not meeting this criteria. Again, you will not get a certificate, right? So if you want to get a certificate, it's very, very important that you take your internals and externals with the same rigor, with the same importance, so that you do not fall into these individual criterias, right? So you have to go and meet individual criterias. Class children, class children, and yeah, external criteria. All right. Yeah, so this is a brief recap of week one and week two. We'll do a short journey very soon. But in the week one, you saw the content on introduction to entrepreneurship, evidence-based entrepreneurship, Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center, GDC, why they are partnering with STEM colleges, reasons why startups fail, mistakes by startup, lean startup, three questions for the startup, and journey of Dinoj, who has been an IIT Bombay alumni, right? And then there is additional learning materials, which here was talked by Bill Roche. And if we talk about week two, we have hand holding for entrepreneurship, journey of Mustafa. And then, there was a panel discussion with these three people who were a part of the GDC, program. And they were sharing their insights, their learnings, their failures, their moments of truth. It's a very interesting thing because, you learn a lot from, all these people who have been a part of this journey, who experience the program of GTC, and they have shared that, the kind of value which was received by looking at the GTC program. So it's phenomenal, and I think we all can learn a lot from these three people and the entire panel discussion. Basically, the session was moderated by Anand sir, Anand KV sir, who is from the GDC team. There is also additional learning material on a case study on Polaroid. So if you have time and you want to learn more, it's always good to explore the other materials which are being shared along. All right. So there are two typology of questions which I've come across uh, in this particular course. The first one is single correct answer, and the second one is multiple correct answers. All right. So which means that out of four, only one would be the correct answer. What paratha do you want? I have the choice of only one, so I can just select any one of them. So maybe I would want mixed paratha. Yeah. So just one of it. But here, when you see a square box, it means that there are multiple correct answers. So what do you want in your paratha? Cheese, tomato, cucumber, sauce. I have the option of selecting two of them, or I have the option of selecting all of them. All right. So it is up to you, and you can accordingly make a decision. Okay. Now comes another important question. I'll just give a minute to you to please read about the question, not the question, read about the sentences here, which is basically the marking of multiple choice questions, right? Take a minute, try to understand this, and we'll take an example. And from that example, we'll try to learn about it. Okay, so you've got question in front of you, and there are three scenarios. Take a time to read the pointers here, one, two, three, and we'll understand them. All right. So let's take the first sentence, which says, if all options chosen by the student are correct and no incorrect answer has been chosen, then full marks are awarded. Okay. So what does it mean? Let's take the question. The question is, which among them are singers? So Lata ji is a singer, has been a singer. Mohammad Rafi has been a singer. Kishore Kumar has been a singer. So there are three correct responses. Mohammad Shami is a cricketer. He's a fast bowler, right? So these are the correct responses: A, B, and C. Which one is the incorrect response? Obviously, the last one, which is Mohammad Shami. Okay. Now, let me take examples one by one. Okay. Now, the first option, I select A, I select B, and I select C, and then I submit, and I get full marks. So, if it's a question of 1 marks, I'll get 1 out of 1. Right? Now, let's take scenario 2. If at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. What does it mean? I selected A, I selected C, and I selected D. I selected B, C, D, or I selected. So in each of the thing, I have selected D as a incorrect response. So I'll get no marks. which means I'll get 0 out of 1. Let's take scenario 3. Scenario 3 says if only correct answers are chosen but not all correct answers are chosen, then partial marks proportional to the number of correct answers chosen are awarded. So, which means if I select A and C, I submit. If I select B and C, I submit. If I select uh, A, sorry, A and B and submit, or if I select A, B, or C and submit, in all these scenario, I've not selected D as any option, which means I'll be qualified to get proportional marks. So in these scenarios, probably I will get 0.66. In this scenario, probably I'll get 0.33 out of 1. Okay. So the idea and the intent of explaining this marking criteria is that if you get to see your marks in decimal, this is the logic behind it. Okay. So I think all of you are clear about what point 3 says, and you have the clarity on this point 3 through this particular scenario 3. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, so these have been the top GMeet learners. The criteria of their names being here is basically the duration uh, of their participation. So all those who have been there for a majority number duration, majority minutes, their names have been ordered in this particular list. So we have Niranjan, Tawfiq Ahmed, Dr. Shailesh Kumar, Joshua, Maila Sri Lakshmi, and Rajesh Priya. So congratulations to all of you. I would have hoped your presence today in this particular session. But nevertheless, we do understand that there is exam time. There's lots and lots of things which are happening, and we have to take care of it. And that's why we have got the provision of these sessions being recorded and uploaded on YouTube as well as on a Google Drive. So I believe you'll take the benefit of those aspects as well, and well, we can proceed with that. Okay, so now we are starting the content recap. Now, why we are doing content recap? Because based on my previous experiences, I realized that many a times the student, they don't get time actually to go through the content, maybe because of their busy schedules, and even for that matter, professionals, when they are busy with their office work, they don't get enough time to go through the content. That's where I realized that content recap would be very very crucial. Would be very helpful for all these learners who can't go through the content, although it is always advisable and preferable that you go through the content and then you come and attend the live session, because the benefit from the live assignments will be only through that, right? But nevertheless, even if you are not able to do that, this is a good way of uh, revising and capturing it, and that's where we have came up with this particular feature of revising the course content. All right. So here, if you see, we are starting with Mustafa, the first example that was given by Professor Chakravarti about how he had a hard time at the very initial days, where he had to work upon to meet his daily needs and daily things of survival. But it was insisted by one of the teachers that he joined college, and then he went to the NIT and then I in Bangalore to study MBA. And then he came up with this particular fantastic proposition wherein they wanted to, share and make the batter accessible to those who would want to make it dosa. So developing an entrepreneurial mindset is a key to reduce doubt and fear. It can also help to drive action, focus, and growth. Interesting. Also, it was said in the content presentation that you don't have to be titled as an entrepreneur to have an entrepreneurial mindset. It's basically about how you convert a rejection into an opportunity, right? How the constraints can actually give way to you to develop an opportunity to work upon. And that's where it's very very interesting and very very important that we utilize the constraints. We see an opportunity in the rejections. Then they introduced the resource people who would who would be giving content and sharing the content. Mr. Rajiv Jain, who is the chief operating officer from the GDC, and these are the key three panel members. Anurag, who is from IIT Bombay alumni. Mr. Avit Srivastav, who is co-founder and CEO at Infiu Labs. And then Mayuri Chopra, she's a marine biologist and she's the CEO at Roha Biotech. So all these three participated in the panel discussion and they shared their story of how they started. So like in the case of Anurag, it was his third leg of entrepreneurship and startup. So he started with these innovations, these apps which were actually doing good, and then he realized that probably he would want to do something else now. So he shared, how that transition was happening, what were the challenges he faced in all these startups, although it was making good money, but then it's also about the inner calling. So, like you see, Care Annex Innovations, it started with the Care Mother app, BBWeet, wherein you can monitor the heartbeat of the baby. And then he was now working for Neodocs, which is at-home diagnostic tests. So, based on their device, you will be able to utilize your mobile phone for capturing a lot of instant lab results at the comfort of your home. That's something I think which we all are looking forward to. Right. Talk to customers and even to strangers. Don't talk to your friends and family about your product. Now, this is a very important statement because generally what happens is that utilizing the comfort, we reach out to the people who we know, but we mistaken them from customers because your father or mother would probably buy a product, but when you are reaching out to your customer base, it's not just the people whom you know, it's also about the customers who are there, who are not knowing you. These are the strangers, of whom you would want to sell your products and then be a successful startup. So these are the few statements which are pretty much important. These are the two programs of GTC, which is I Incubate and I Ignite. The first one is between 3 to 4 weeks, 8 weeks duration. It's for faculty, researchers, aspiring entrepreneurs in STEM universities working on a research idea or innovation. Okay. The I Ignite program is a residence program from 3 to 12 months. So almost an year you're staying there. So only selected startups which have successfully completed I Incubate program and found a problem solution fit in the robust customer discovery exercise and have committed founding team to take the startup forward. Right. So preliminary criteria is that the startups who have been a part of I Incubate and those are selected depending upon their feasibility and the kind of product market fit they have been able to fetch. And then they also require a committed team of members, which is very very important for them to suffice and probably consider that. These are few more statements which are very very important, and it's crucial to understand the difference between the customer when the customer is complaining and when they need something. Because many times what happens is that the customer complains and we feel that okay, that is something they need, but the moment you address that and when you go to the customers, they might say a very different tone. So it's very important that we understand when the customers are complaining and when probably they are in need of something. So customer discovery, as we have seen, I think it's very, very critical. It translates the founder's mission into a reality, and it's very critical because in all the course content we have seen that they have focused upon discovering the customer, reaching out to the customer, talking to potential customers, and it all encircles into one very important aspect of reaching out to the customers, understanding their pain points, their needs. So on the question of, what does entrepreneurship mean to you? All these three panel members said different things, getting it done attitude, and they had their different interpretations of, entrepreneurial mindset. It's about how you convert rejection into opportunity and the courage to bring about change and impact without losing focus. So that's what Mayuri has said, who is a marine biologist and currently is the CEO at the Ruha Biotech. Then there were questions on, the role GDC played and shaping up their journey, entrepreneurial journey, and was found that it played a key role in, initiating their talk to the customers. So, like we discussed in the previous slide, talking to customers is very, very important. Right? Do not talk to your family and friends. You might get certain insights from them, but they are not your ideal users. Your ideal users are very different. Okay. How GDC played a role in teaching you how to let go and what did you do to your startup? So these are their inputs. I think let's not get into each and every one of their sayings because in the course content you would have already seen that happening. But yes, one thing which is very important and critical, as said by Amit, was that you cannot push somebody to use your product for free, right? I mean, they don't have that time. So it's very important inside because you feel that you are doing something very, very critical, very, very important, but yet when you go out in the market, people don't have time even to use it for free. So that's the harsh reality. So it's very important that we address the very striking and the very important need of our users. And then you have further more questions about their experiences of customer discovery, how they went about and how the GDC bootcamp helped them in reaching out to the customers. So as you have seen by Mayuri, notions we had about our product were broken along with many of our assumptions invalidated, right? And the question was about what would you like to tell the aspiring entrepreneurs? I think this is something interesting which we all can go across. Money aspect and the glamour of startup is too overrated. Money is not the cause why startups die. It is the product market fit. This is very, very critical. We have seen the reasons why startups fail, and the very essential of them is the product market fit. What essentially it means is that you have a product and you have market, but the product is not actually addressing the market need. So there is a not a good fit. Money sometimes create an illusion that you can multiply effort by scaling the teams, which can be detrimental. Okay. So at the very beginning, they have said that, instead of scaling the team very quickly, it's important that you organize your approach, you organize your entire process. And that's where GDC actually helped them in, streamlining things and prioritizing what's important, what's critical, and what's needs to be done at that particular stage. Learn to say no and learn to hear no as well. So all these are important sentences. You would have gone through the course content. Like very interesting one is this one. It's a myth that in a startup you are your own boss because if you have a startup you have to work 24/7, right? You might be your own boss, but then you have to give that kind of time, that kind of an effort if you have your own startup. So these are certain more questions. Yeah. So we are about to begin our set of 10 questions. Let's take this one as well. What if your startup idea did not align with your passion of saving the planet? It would be very hard for a purpose-driven person like me to have a startup that would not align with my vision. Like so it's very important that you identify what's your inner passion, right? And your vision. if you're planning to have a startup, these things are very critical. आप किसके लिए passionate है? Why are you motivated to work in that particular area? Okay. What is that motivation which is coming, you know, which is pushing you to, have your own startup? So it's very important to identify those things, because the moment you have that inner passion, your inner desire, you get a streamlined goal, and then you can work towards it. It could have been a different product, but there could be a different vision, right? So now what we'll do is we'll take a pause for 4 minutes, and right at 4 o'clock, we'll start with our set of 10 questions. We have covered 1 hour, and we have now 1 hour left. Let's take a quick break. Just walk around, do a bio break, and let's come back. Okay. So we have covered our protocol slide deck. We have covered the content recap. The remaining hour will be covering the set of 10 questions. Right? Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back. All right. I think yeah, we can begin with our set of 10 questions now. It's 4 o'clock. Uh, Okay. So here comes the first question. What is a batter blast? As mentioned by Professor V.K. Chakravarti in the Mustafa P success story in the module 2. I think by far you must have understood that we are discussing week specific content, right? And at the week specific content, we are discussing week 2. So if you recall the content recap also, Mustafa story was about ID batter. He was giving people idli dosa batter, right? So we have to relate from that story. What is batter plus as mentioned by Professor Chakravarti in the Mustafa success story in module 2? It's a philosophy on which Mustafa's business model is based. It's a metaphor used to describe the booming business of idli batter industry in southern India. It's an explosion like phenomena which can occur due to the expansion of idli batter when it over ferments in a sealed bag, or it is a term which got famous to describe a surprise party organized by Mustafa's cousin to celebrate their success. Okay, so take a minute, try to understand the question. You have got four options. You have got option A, option B, option C, and option D. Since it's a single selection, which means only one correct answer. All right. So take time and let me know. We are discussing the batter blast from the ID batter case study. Anyone who would like to share their input? What could be the right answer? Batter blast. हमें ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि बैटर इज नॉट द क्रिकेट वाला बैटर. It's the different batter. It's the one which is used to make idli dosa. Hmm, right? So we're talking about that, प्रश्न है कि बैटर ब्लास्ट क्या है. प्रश्न हमें मुस्तफा पी की सक्सेस स्टोरी से जानना है. मुस्तफा जिन्होंने एनआईटी से पढ़ाई की, आई बैंगलोर से पढ़ाई की, माफ कीजिएगा, एंड देन ही वेंट अहेड टू सेट अप ID company which was about idli dosa batter, and they started with the batter, but then they've now reached out to paratha and all those things as well. Right? So they have diversified their offerings now, which normally a company does when they are there in a due course of time. तो अगर हम एक एक करके let's try to understand one by one the options. So the first one says it's a philosophy on which Mustafa's business model is based. So nowhere in the business model thing they have discussed about anything around batter blast. So this option is not holding true. It's a metaphor used to describe booming business of idly batter industry in this in the southern India. If you have not gone through the content, probably you might take this as an answer, but that's also not true. It's an explosion-like phenomena which can occur. It is a term which got famous to describe the surprise party event organized by Mustafa. So that's also not the correct answer. Now let's see the screen validation. Yes. So if you see, we have already understood what batter is. It's a semi-liquid stuff used for making idli dosa, right? And blast is blast, right? No. So blast, which is caused by the over fermentation of the batter. क्या होता है कि जब आप फर्मेंट करते हो तो बैटर धीरे धीरे राइज होता है, राइट? और आप अगर आप घर में बनाते हो तो यू गेट टू सी नो, सो अगर यू हैव दैट बैटर हियर, स्लोली इट विल राइज, है ना? धीरे धीरे वो बढ़ेगा 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 और हो सकता है वो इतना तक हो जाए, है ना, बैटर. नाउ जस्ट इमेजिन दैट इफ इट इज इन अ सील्ड बैग. अगर वो सील्ड बैग में होगा तो ऑब्वियसली ओवर फर्मेंटेशन के बाद देयर विल बी अ ब्लास्ट फिनोमेना. फट जाएगा वो पैकेट. So the correct answer is it is an explosion like phenomena, फटने वाला phenomena, explosion blast, which can occur due to expansion of the idli batter when it over ferments in a sealed bag. मैंने बताया ना आपको सील्ड बैग रहता है. अब जैसे हम लोग घर में जब बनाते हैं तो हम जनरली एक पतीले का, एक बीकर का, एक ओपन उसका प्रयोग करते हैं, सो दैट अगर वो बढ़ता भी है तो इतना हो गया इतना हो जाएगा. बट ये flexibility is not there in a sealed bag. ठीक है. एंड द मोमेंट इट, हो सकता है उसमें थोड़ी बहुत फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी हो, फूलेगा फूलेगा फूलेगा, बट इतनी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं होगी और देन इट विल एक्सप्लोजन में लगा. सुल द ब्लास्ट फिनोमेना. So it's an explosion like phenomena which can occur due to expansion of idli batter. Okay, now comes the question number two. As discussed in module 2, Mustafa created a software to handle which of the following functions for his idli batter business? The options are: software helped Mustafa to find right investors for his business. So, was the software for finding investors? I don't know. You have to tell me. The software helped Mustafa organize his supply chain. The software helped Mustafa identify and supply the right quantity to the local store owners with no refrigeration facility. And the software helped Mustafa to predict the financial income of his business transaction. Predict financial income. Talk about money. Take a time. and let me know what would be the right answer. So just give a couple of minutes to yourself and we'll discuss what is the right answer for this. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to the options one by one. So let's mark it A, B, C, and D. And I think now you're very clear. It's a square box, which means that it's a multi-select question, multi-select answers. There could be multiple correct answers to it. All right. Software helped Mustafa to find right investors for his business. So there was no mention of this, that whether the software is helping them find right investors. Software क्या होता है? Software, there are different kind of software, है ना? There's antivirus software. Then you have softwares for games. You have software to run your laptops, right? You have MS Word, you have the Microsoft Office, and then you have tools, ANSYS, all those things, 3D modeling softwares, so all these are softwares you can install and you can run it on your system, right? Software will help Mustafa organize his supply chain. Yes, yes, because the battle blast phenomena was actually linked to this. Software helps Mustafa identify supply and chain right quantity to the local stores with no refrigeration facility. Now, why this refrigeration facility was critical? Because of the again the battle blast phenomena. Okay, so let's see the content validation. Software to organize the supply chain network, selling the right quantity to the local stores with the no refrigeration. So if they don't have refrigeration facility, what will happen in the heat? Again, the over fermentation will occur and it will lead to battle blast. Right. To avoid that phenomena, you sell only the right quantity so that all is taken and purchased in the same day so that there is no issue of battle blast. Large stores with a refrigeration can buy and keep longer. So those who have refrigeration facility which can actually control the fermentation process, they can actually buy and keep it for longer period of time. So then you supply to them accordingly. Supply chain का क्या मतलब होता है कि you deliver things in that quantity so that your supply chain network remains. There is a demand, there is supply. Demand अगर पुख्ता तौर से डेली हो रही है तो you give the right quantity. That's how you maintain the supply chain network. So the correct answer is, first of all, it's option B, which is and C. Right? Software help Mustafa organize his supply chain. Software help Mustafa identify and supply the right quantity to local store owners with no refrigeration facility. Hmm? Let's go to our third question. According to Mr. Anand, if you remember, he is from the GDC team, Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center, right? Which helps startups through their various programs like the Incube, the Ignite programs, different programs. Okay. He says startup is never a one man's team. Having same blank is critical for binding them together. Alright. Options are love of product, background, personality, and passion. According to Mr. Anand, startup is never a one man's team. Having same dash is critical for binding the team together. Is it the love of product? Is it background? Is it personality? Or is it the passion? We have discussed this in the content summary. So if you're there, probably you might. So take some time, try to think upon, ponder upon what could be the right answer. Obviously, startup is not a one man's team because you need people from diversified background. For example, you need HR, you need somebody from for the finance, you need somebody who is from the design team, you need somebody who is from the marketing team, right? So you need that kind of diversification in your team. Just one person can actually do this, but then not effectively, right? Your major energy will, work upon it. So you got one response on passion. All right. Let's look at the content validation screen. Startup is never a one man's team. Having the same passion is critical for binding the team together. Now, that's very true. Having the same passion is very, very important. Because also, if you see the other options, you'll be able to, make out that this is the correct answer. Having the same love of product. Now, the product can be very, very different, right? Same background is not necessary because you need diversification, as I said in the previous slide. Same personality, no. Every personality is individual. We don't want same personality. We have to celebrate that diversification. What diversity को हमें celebrate करना है. What we need is same passion for that product. All right. So very well said, Bhavna. Correct answer is passion. Let's go to our fourth question. As mentioned by Anurag in module 2, what were his moments of truth to motivate him to pursue an entrepreneurial career? Okay. So if you remember in the module content, uh, Mr. Anand, he asks all the panelists, all three panelists about this question. Okay. So we are referring to Mr. Anurag, right? Who had three startups, by the way. He was in the third leg of startup. So he created startup, he has sold them, and then he was working on his third startup. So what were his moments of truth? The options are Anurag's empathy towards the user and customers. Anurag's family already had a few entrepreneurs from where he got his guidance. Anurag was not afraid to explore personal business venture options as the required skill sets were already known to him. Anurag's dream was to become famous since he was child. Okay, so these are the four options. Take a minute, try to understand the question, read through the options given to you, and we'll discuss the correct answer. Okay, just give some time to yourself to understand the question and the options which are there, from which you have to select the correct ones. Okay, let's look at the options and the screen validation. So question is, Mr. Anurag, what is your moment of truth? Now, if you go to the timestamp 106, you'll say the answer was being empathetic towards users and customers and not afraid of taking risk of a startup, instead taking of a job. All right. So empathy is a very, very important aspect. Even if you go through the design thinking process, empathy lies at the very core of it, by which says empathize. What it basically means is that you need to put yourself in the shoes of the user. And then you will try it, you gain insight into it. So being empathetic towards the user and customers was the first thing, and not being afraid of taking the risk of a startup. Right. So the correct answer is option A, which is empathy towards the customer and users and not afraid of exploring personal business interruptions. All right, let's proceed ahead. Coming to our fifth question, as mentioned by Amit in module 2, complete the following sentence. Business is not just what you are working on, but what your dash is letting you to work on. Okay. Options are hard, financial status, environment, and mentors. Okay. So Amit, if you remember, is Amit Srivastav, who is from InfiU Labs, and he was basically working in the area of food wastage. Okay. He says business is not just what you are working on, but what your dash is letting you to work on. You've got four options: what your heart is letting you to work upon, your financial status, your environment, or your mentor. So take a time and let me know what could be the right answer. Just meanwhile, check uh, the recording aspect, and if there are any new joinees, new learners have joined in. Few people who have came in, who have left, so that will go upon. That's not an issue. I think we should not be troubled with that aspect. Share my screen once again. Just trying to resolve why this is. Some issues happening in the screen sharing module. Just give me a minute. I'll just see if this trouble is because of. Apologies. Just wait for a minute. I'll just stop presenting and I'll reshare my screen. Yes, perfect. So, we were asking the question based on Amit's input about business is not what just you are working on, but what your dash is letting you to work on. And the options given to you are hard financial status, environment, and mentors, right? Now, let's see the answers we have got. This is the screen validation from the content which was shared with you. Business is not just what you're working on, but what your environment is letting you to work upon. So environment में there are many things which comes in. You know, the people who are using the product, the market players, the competitors, right? The people who are funding you. So there are a numerous number of components that form the market, right? So the correct answer is environment. What your Okay. Let's come to our sixth question. Amit mentions some of his reasons to pursue entrepreneurial journey in module. So Amit is again Mr. Amit Srivastav, who is from the InfiU Labs, who is working on the food wastage phenomena. Okay. You have to select the correct reasons of him pursuing an entrepreneurial journey. The options given to you are Amit evaluated his preference to not earn a stable income for his family at the moment. Amit avoided getting influenced by peer pressure to take up a job. He evaluated his skill sets and decided he can always take up a job if the startup journey does not work out. Amit was already determined and had a business plan to turn his idea into success after graduation. Okay, now this is again a multi select question. So there could be multiple correct answers. So you have to tell which one is the correct, and you can take a minute to understand the question and the options so that you can tell me with a well informed response. हमें बताना है कि किन कारणों से अमित ने अपनी एंटरप्रेन्योरियल जर्नी को शुरू किया था एंड वी हैव टू टेल द राइट रीजंस फॉर दैट. फोर रीजंस व्हिच आर गिवन टू यू आर ही वैल्यूएटेड हिज प्रेफरेंसेस. उसने अपनी फैमिली में बात की और उसने पूछा कि वेदर दे आर इन डायर नीड ऑफ मनी, दे वांट हिम टू वर्क और नॉट. And Amit avoided getting influenced by peer pressure. So there were obviously when you are in college, so there's always a peer pressure where your friends are taking up a job, and then there is a pressure on you whether you should also go for a job or not. Amit evaluated his skill sets and decided he can always take up a job if the startup journey does. So Amit ने realize किया कि probably he has the desired skill sets, and if required he can pursue and take up for any job if his startups did not work. Okay, so that kind of confidence he had that कि अगर मेरा काम नहीं भी किया startup तो I have that capacity, I have that skill sets within me based on which I can take up any career path and join any other company. And he was already determined and had a business plan to turn his idea into success. So he was already very much determined. और उसके पास एक business plan था which through which he can turn his idea into a success. Okay, so these are the answers given by Amit. Let's go through them one by one. Evaluating my preferences, avoiding peer pressure to take up a job, evaluating my skill set, having a risk taking mindset, balancing between money, livelihood, and happiness. So, evaluating my preferences, and then what are the things which are immediate at stake? Avoiding peer pressure to take up job, as discussed, when you are studying, your friends are participating in placements and internships and interviews, that time there is a huge pressure on you. Evaluating your skill sets, आपकी स्किल सेट्स क्या हैं, आपके क्या ऐसे attributes हैं which are defining you, right? So those are also very important. Having a risk taking mindset and balancing between money, livelihood, and happiness. So the correct answers are Amit evaluated his preferences to not earn a stable income for because उसने बात किया था अपने पेरेंट्स से, अपने ब्रदर से, अपने सिबलिंग से कि डू यू नीड मनी एज ऑफ नाउ, है ना? डू यू नीड इन डायर नीड ऑफ मनी सो दैट आई नीड्स टू डू अ जॉब? वहां से रिस्पॉन्स आया कि नो, सो देन ही इवेलुएटेड क्योंकि आई हैव दैट फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. Again, there was peer pressure, but he avoided getting influenced. So a lot of students were taking up jobs in multinational companies, but he avoided it. And he evaluated his skill sets and decided he can take a job if the startup journey does not work out. So he also had this realization and confidence within himself that even if my startup doesn't work, I have that capability, I have that confidence based on which I can take up a job easily. Right? So A, B, and C are the correct responses for the question, and all those who have thought that these could be the right answers, well done. ऑप्शन अगर डी को भी देखें, Amit was already determined and had a business plan to turn his idea into a success after graduation. Now, this is always an assumption, na? It's always an assumption within us that okay, this is a great idea and this will work, this will convert our idea into success. So हमें उस assumption से बाहर आना है. And that happens when you do customer discovery. When you reach out to your customers, your potential customers, you talk to them, right? Okay. Let's come on to our seventh question. We are talking about Mayuri Chopra. Who is Mayuri? She is a marine biologist, and she is currently the CEO at Roha Biotech. According to module 2, what was Mayuri Chopra's motivation to become an entrepreneur? Okay, तो हम जानना चाहते हैं कि मयूरी चोपड़ा, who was also a part of the GDC program, what did she mention about motivation to become an entrepreneur? Options are to create a new breeding ground for endangered coral reefs, to conserve and protect marine life, to build healthier oceans for overall positive impact, to create an affordable packaging material. Okay, create a new breeding ground for endangered coral reefs, conserve and protect the marine life, build healthier oceans. What do you mean by healthier oceans? Which are healthier for the marine life. ऐसा नहीं कि आपको ओशन से हमें पानी पीना है तो वो हेल्दी होना चाहिए. इट्स अबाउट इट शुड बी हेल्दी फॉर द मरीन लाइफ, है ना? हम क्या करते हैं, वी डंप अ लॉट ऑफ वेस्ट इन इट. And to create an affordable packaging material. Okay, so take a time and let me know what do you think is the right answer. Whether it should be option A, B, C, or D, or all of them, or one of them. Again, it's a square box, which means there are multiple correct answers. ठीक है, तो आपको बताना है कि इनमें से व्हाट आर द राइट आंसर्स. Is it about creating a new breeding ground for endangered coral reefs? Or is it about conserving and protecting the marine life? Or building healthier oceans for an overall positive impact? Or to create an affordable packaging material? We are discussing Mayuri Chopra's motivation to become an entrepreneur. What was the motivation? क्या थी वो motivation? Okay. If you do not have any votes, any thoughts, let's do a screen validation. So she is Miss Mayuri Chopra. She is a Master of Biology Sciences, Marine Biology, CI Roha Biotech, and currently she is pursuing her PhD from Oxford, University of Oxford, which I recently came across to know. So a common vision of making healthier oceans for marine life and a better planet united a very diverse set of people. So the common vision is about conserving and protecting the marine life and building healthier oceans for an overall positive. So the correct answers are option B and option C. You're conserving and protecting the marine life है ना, पानी के अंदर की जो लाइफ है, that's the marine life that we are referring to as marine life, and building healthier oceans for an overall positive impact, right? So there could be shark as well. So just depicting. All right. Let's come to our eighth question. According to Anurag, what were the most exciting moments in his entrepreneurial journey as explained by him in module 2? Exciting moments की बात हो रही है. The most exciting moments. Anurag is the first panel member. Remember New Docs? The options are when the customers wanted to buy Anurag's product in his first venture from the initial stages itself, when the feedback and positive testimonials of the doctors and other users validated the product, the point when he realized he can let go of college placements to pursue his dream of becoming an entrepreneur or to keep creating new business ventures. Okay, you've got four options. We are trying to understand the exciting moments of Mr. Anurag, who was one of the panel members. Okay, we still have a few members in the Gmeet. Anybody who would like to vote upon or suggest what could be the right answer? Anyone who has gone through the content, or even if not gone through the content, but through the content recap, from there also you can actually suggest. When the customers wanted to buy Anurag's product in his first venture from initial stages, यानी कि वो properly launch भी नहीं हुआ है, they've just made it. They've not yet marketed it well, but still people would want to buy it. Second is about positive feedbacks from the community. Third is that he let go of the college placements. And fourth is that to creating new business ventures. Okay, let's go through the screen validation. Okay, so this was the question by Mr. KV Anand, and his responses are product sales and money as a motivating factor, because that came when in the very initial stages of his startup. And then the feedback and testimonials of the product by the users. Now, when the users are suggesting something nice about your product, है ना, अभी देखो, even if you buy a product, people ask for reviews, right? They will write कि please write a good review about us, or please write a review about us. And they may also say that you write a review and you'll get a 100 rupee voucher and things like that. So they are trying to buy reviews. So all these things are happening because when you go there and when you go to Amazon, you always would want to see the reviews of the product. आप देखना चाहोगे कि what people are suggesting, what kind of questions they have raised, pointers they have raised, or they have shared appreciation of your products you're purchasing, because that influences the buying decision, right? Feedback and testimonials are very critical, especially in the digital world today. So the correct answers are when the customers wanted to buy Anurag's product in his first venture and the initial stages. So option A is the correct answer. And then when the feedback and the positive testimonials of the doctors and other users validated the product. So there's a customer validation as well. By using the product, they are able to validate it. Okay, so the right answers are option A and option B. Coming on to our second last question. What were the challenging moments Mayuri's team had to face during her startup journey as explained by her in module 2? अर्थात मयूरी की टीम को क्या challenges फेस करने पड़े when and during their startup journey. Mayuri's team was hitting many dead ends in the product development. Biodegradable packaging marketing had already major players posing stiff competitions. Research on the initial idea needed more money and time. So these are also critical factors. The team was not able to find suitable vendors to help them distribute the developed product. Okay. So अलग अलग dimension में there are options. Many dead ends in the product development. They were not able to get through. There was a stiff competition by already existing players. They needed more time and money. Again, a very critical factor. And they although had their product, but then they were not able to identify good vendors or suitable vendors. Vendors क्या होते हैं? They will help you distribute the product. Huh? Or they are service providers as well. Depends. Service or product providers. ठीक है. So again, it's a multi-select question, which means there are multiple correct answers. So आपको बताना है कि इसमें से कौन सा जवाब सही है. So take a minute and let me know if you are willing to share your response or vote. Uh, I'm all ears. I'll wait for a minute and then we'll go to the screen validation to see whether the response is correct or not. Okay, we have got voting for B and D, which is okay. Anybody else who would want to vote? Okay, let's go to the screen validation. So these were the 5, 6 responses given by Mary, hitting continuous dead ends in the product development. There was a high competition, a stiff competition. The search on the initial idea needed more time and money. So yes, that was also there. It is when the team started to work on the backup idea. After doing more research on the backup idea, the team realized that the potential it had. It is when the team took the risk and switched their main product. The challenge of how to decide on the application of a versatile product was again a very critical challenge, and the disappointment of getting rejected. So, uh, she mentioned that they had already come to GDC at earlier instance where they were rejected because they did not have the right clarity. Okay. So the correct answers are A, which is they were hitting many dead ends. Option A. Second is biodegradable packaging had already stiff competition. So yes, option B is also correct. And they needed initial idea needed more time and money. So there was a vote for D and B. Right. So one of the answers mentioned by the learner is correct. The correct answers are A, B, and C. It was not a challenge which was mentioned by Mayuri. Right. Let's come to our last question. Last question for the week two. Uh, According to Anurag, complete the following sentence. Money is not the cause why startups die, it is the dash fit. So you need to tell me what should be the right blank here. Is it the goal objective? Is it the user customer product market or needs want fit? What is it that because of which these startups die? What is a misfit? Okay, so take a time, read upon the question, read upon the options given to you, and I think it's a very direct one because we have already gone through that many a times. Even in the week one, they said that one of the top reasons why startups fail. So if you've gone through the week one content also, then also you'll be able to make it. And even if you have gone through the content recap today, then also you'll be able to understand what is the correct answer for this question. We are referring to Mr. Anurag, who is from the New Docs. He's the CEO there. And you need to complete the sentence that money is not the cause why startups die. It is the dash fit. What is it which we are referring to? So take a minute, let me know. Okay, so we've got one vote for user. Any other vote? Goal objective fit, user customer fit, product market fit, and needs want fit. Okay, let's do the screen validation. Money aspect and the glamour of startup is too overrated. Money is not the cause why startups die. It is the product market fit. Okay, correct answer is product market fit. Okay. So since it's a single choice question, only one correct answer. Now we need to understand that user and customer, these are both similar typology of options. Okay, so these both are referring to similar typology of user set. So it's not the correct answer. Correct answer is the product market fit. Market needs, potential customers, all those things are very very important. However, since both are, अगर यहाँ पे product customer होता, then probably it would have been the right answer. User product होता, user market होता, तो भी right हो सकता था, right? So it's very close by, but the correct answer is product market fit. All right, so we have completed our set of 10 questions. These were the few questions which were posted in the discussion forum, starting with basically the spelling of entrepreneur, which we have clarified, and then one person saying that the colleges is forcefully pushing and motivating them to participate it, I would suggest that please take that with your college. There is also a question posted today. I'll have a look at it right now. Okay, yeah, yes. So, so before we take up that question, let me just briefly tell you about the resources here. We have already done our questions. We have got a few minutes left. Right. So, remember, I was telling you where to see the archives of these sessions which we do. So you have to click on the problem solving session, and again you have to click here. Right. It will lead you to a spreadsheet. So right now, if you can see, we have uploaded the week one video, and there is a drive location as well. Right. So if I click here, it is an open access a link wherein you can actually go through the entire week one PDF which is annotated. I hope everybody is able to see, right? So you can browse through even if you have not attended the first session, you can utilize this. And from here, you can actually click and go through the
Questions are also asked using the
so the
discussion
entire thing has
forum
been uploaded here.
functionality.
So
We
both
also
the repositories are there, and for today's content also, we'll be soon uploading it very soon, so that you are able to access both of them. Right. Going back, if you see, this is the week two assignment. Still, if you have not been able to submit it, the due date is 5th Feb. So here you see all the week two assignment, and week one assignment due is also there, which is again 5th Feb. So please ensure that before 5th you are able to by 5th you are able to submit all these questions. And today itself, week three content is also released, right? So that is also something which you can go through. If you have time, you can start understanding the week three. If you have been very diligent in the work, then you can initiate your week three learnings, go through the content, and you have time to submit it. It is by the 12th of Feb. Okay. तो उसके लिए आपके पास काफ़ी समय है, आप आराम से इसको भर के भेज सकते हैं। और जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया था, प्रोग्रेस टैब आपका ये होता है, एक यूनिट वाइज होता है, एक असेसमेंट स्कोर्स होता है। यूनिट वाइज प्रोग्रेस इज द कंटेंट यू आर सीइंग, अकॉर्डिंग टू इट जनरेट्स द रिजल्ट्स। Assessment scores will be start appearing the moment the deadline is over, right? So you can actually see your content and marks in it. ठीक है? So those are the two aspects. Now let's go to the question answers thing. There was a question posted. I'll just see it what the question is. Okay, so one mail is regarding the introduction. So Funny Nathan has introduced himself, which is fine. So if you are also a learner, there was a common message given to all the learners of introducing themselves. And there is also one more silicon.ac.in. You can, this is fine. This was the question which was posted. If anyone having idea but do not have clarity about the procedure to be followed to convert it into a startup, how to bring it on the table and how to analyze its scope of being successful. Now, maybe let me open this question to the floor. If anybody who is there in the call would like to address this question, आपको क्या लगता है? If you have an idea but आपके पास clarity नहीं है, how would you go about it? Anybody who would like to speak? Who's present in the call? Yes, yes, please. We have got a hand raised by Ms. Bhavna. Yes, ma'am. Anybody in the call who would want to share your perspectives of how to go about an idea? Okay. So, see, again, now these are my personal views, and based on the understanding of this course, what have started happening as an ecosystem is that We have got a lot of Atal tinkering labs. We have got DICs, which is Design Innovation Centers, and then we have a lot of incubators within the colleges itself, right? So the first thing which is very, very critical is that if you have an idea, you try to build a POC, proof of concepts, make a mock-up, make a prototype as quickly as possible. Once you have your prototype done, then you go and reach out to your end customers, है ना? आप जिनके लिए बना रहे हैं, the potential customers and the consumers, you reach out to them and you probably give it to them, take their feedback. And we're not talking about friends and family members, we are talking about actual consumers, right? You do it, you do that. बट उससे पहले ये ज़रूरी होता है कस्टमर डिस्कवरी, आइडेंटिफाइंग द प्रॉब्लम, राइट? सो वो एक बहुत बड़ा क्रिटिकल एस्पेक्ट है. वंस यू हैव ऑल दीज एस्पेक्ट्स सॉर्टेड एंड क्लियर्ड, देन यू कैन टेक हेल्प फ्रॉम दीज इंक्यूबेटर्स. जैसे कि आपने देखा, जीटीसी इज ऑल्सो having certain programs. Many of the institutions, they have started their incubator centers, right? Wherein you can actually take guidance from them, how to move to the next stage. If you have a funding requirement, they might be able to connect you. They probably will give you an office space, will help you connect with the right team members, right? So you can get all these facilities and hand holding in all these aspects. Arriving at a product design thing will require a proper process, which we'll see from the चक्कू 7 C's, है ना? अभी जब आगे आप कंटेंट देखोगे ना, you will understand that how do you develop concepts, how do you reach out to your design solution. That is something which you will understand through the lectures of Professor Chakravarti in the coming sessions, right? So I hope that addresses the question raised by the participant, right? So I think we have covered all the questions, and we have been able to address those things as well. Maybe what we'll do is we'll now close the session for today. Yeah. Right. Let me again remind you that all these sessions are there to help you. These are, although not mandatory sessions, but then we expect people to come, join, participate, be vocal, have a dialogue, because me only talking is not very great as an experience. It's always good to hear voices and opinions, thoughts. Right. So I hope that we'll get more discussions. We'll get to see more interactions in the upcoming sessions. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Right. We'll meet next week. Anybody who wants to say anything can please join in.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Bhavna. Thanks, Samyukta. Okay, we'll be closing the
Sir,
session.
you're muted, I think.
Is it? Are
Yeah,
you able to
it's
hear me?
yes, yes,
Okay. Okay. Now it's fine.
yes.
All right, all right. Okay, so see you. Have a good weekend to all of you. We'll meet next week, 3 o'clock, Saturday. Till then, I would hope you to please go through week 3 content and then join in. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, we have closed the session. Oh, right. So what we'll do is we'll take this question and we'll put it in our presentation as well. And once that is done, we'll have a proper write up and we'll try to address through the reply as well. Okay, so don't worry about it, and this will be resorted. I think if you have heard me in this particular session, half of your trouble would have been over. So don't worry about it, right? So I think now we can close the session. Let me quickly, yeah, that is fine. We'll save the PPT just so that it's available for everyone. Even though you are not here, then as well, we should be able to access the content. Thank you once again. We'll be closing the session. Thank you.